The message was short. Too short to be harmless. Can't wait to see you again, J. Redheart. I stared at it for a long minute, the glow of my phone burning into my eyes. My heart thudded, uneven, loud enough to drown out the TV humming in the background. My wife, Emily, was in the shower upstairs, her phone forgotten on the kitchen counter. Or maybe not forgotten. Maybe she thought I'd never look. But curiosity is a dangerous thing when trust already has hairline cracks. The name was what caught me, Jordan. No last name. No emoji besides the heart. But the way it was written. Casual, intimate, familiar. I tried to tell myself it was nothing. Maybe a coworker, maybe one of her friends from the gym. Except Emily didn't text her friends at midnight. And she sure as hell didn't add hearts. When she came down, towel drying her hair, I was still sitting at the counter. Her phone was where I'd found it. I hadn't opened the thread, just that one preview line on the lock screen. "Hey," she said, surprised to see me still awake. "You okay?" I nodded, watching her carefully. "Yeah, just couldn't sleep." She smiled faintly, leaned down to kiss my cheek, and went to pour herself some water. Her phone buzzed again. The same name lit up. Jordan. She froze mid-sip. It was subtle, the kind of pause only someone who knew her well would notice. She set her glass down, pretending to be casual, but her fingers trembled just slightly. That was when I asked, "Is Jordan a guy?" She looked up so fast I almost heard her neck crack. Her eyes widened, just for a fraction of a second before she laughed. Too quickly. Too forced. "What? Well, no, Jordan's a friend from work." Her voice had that tone, the one that's meant to sound natural but carries the weight of panic behind it. I nodded slowly. "A friend, huh?" "Yeah," she said, smiling too hard now. They helped me with that marketing report last week." "Why?" I didn't answer. She kept talking, words spilling out in nervous streams, as if trying to bury the truth under chatter. That was the moment I knew. The next few days, I became someone I didn't recognize. I started noticing every detail, every late-night text, every working late excuse, every shift in her tone when she mentioned her office. I didn't confront her again. Not yet. I wanted to know. It wasn't about catching her. It was about seeing the truth without her words twisting it into something else. On Wednesday, she said she'd be at a team dinner. I offered to drive her. She declined. Too quickly. "I'll take an Uber," she said, avoiding my eyes. "It's downtown. You don't need to wait up." But I waited anyway. At 8:47 p.m., her location pinged. A small apartment complex 20 minutes away from where she claimed to be. And that's when the denial finally cracked open. I drove there without thinking. The whole time I told myself maybe I was wrong, maybe she had a friend there, maybe I'd walk away embarrassed and guilty. But my gut knew better. Her car was parked outside. Lights on in a second-story window. I sat in my own car for what felt like forever, watching shadows move across that window. Two figures. One hers. The other taller. At 10:13 the curtain moved. Her silhouette leaned into someone's arms. That was enough. I didn't go up. I didn't knock. I didn't yell. I just left. And something inside me, something I didn't realize I'd been carrying for years, broke. When she got home past midnight, her lipstick was gone, her hair tied up like she'd been rushing. "You're awake?" she asked, pretending surprise. "Yeah," I said quietly. "How was dinner?" She blinked. "It was fine. Just tiring." I nodded, keeping my eyes on hers. "At the restaurant downtown?" She hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah." "Funny," I said. "'Cause I drove by. Didn't see your car." Her breath caught. For a long time she said nothing. Her eyes darted toward the stairs like she could escape up them. Finally I said, "I know, Emily." That broke her. She slumped against the counter, whispering, "I didn't mean for it to happen." I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound I didn't recognize. "They never do." We didn't fight that night. Not really. We just sat there. Two strangers bound by what used to be love. She cried. I listened. It just happened, she said again. He was there when things got rough between us. When you started working longer hours, when we stopped talking. Her words sliced deeper than she realized. I wanted to tell her I worked those hours for us, to pay for the house, the trips, the life she said she wanted. But I stayed silent. She confessed it had been going on for 3 months. She swore it was emotional, not physical. But I'd seen her silhouette in his arms. I didn't need her to confirm anything. The days after felt like living in fog. Everything looked the same. The house, the bed, the morning coffee, but nothing felt the same. Every sound reminded me of what was gone. The clink of her mug, her perfume in the hallway, the way she said my name. She tried to fix things. Cooked dinner, sent texts asking if I was okay. Left notes like, "We can get through this." But you can't patch a hole in trust. Once it tears, everything leaks out. Love, laughter, security, until all that's left is emptiness. I started sleeping in the guest room. She cried every night. I couldn't. A week later, she said she wanted to talk. We sat at the kitchen table, the same place I'd first asked her about Jordan. I ended it, she said softly. I told him I can't do this anymore. I want to fix us. He nodded. Does he feel the same? She flinched. It doesn't matter. It does to me, I said quietly. Because you didn't fall out of love with me by accident. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I still love you. I believe she thought she did. But love isn't a word you keep while giving your heart to someone else. For months I tried to forgive her. We went to therapy. Talk. We even tried a weekend getaway, pretending things were normal. But every time her phone buzzed, every time she said she'd be home late, my chest tightened like I was reliving that night all over again. Trust doesn't rebuild, it scars. And scars don't feel the same as skin. One night she asked, "Do you think you'll ever forgive me?" I looked at her, really looked. The woman I once couldn't imagine my life without now felt like a stranger wearing her face. I think I already have, I said. But forgiving isn't the same as forgetting. She nodded slowly, tears falling again. So what happens now? I sighed. I think we stop pretending this can go back to what it was. When I packed my bags a week later, she didn't try to stop me. She just stood in the doorway, holding a framed photo from our wedding. You were my best friend, she whispered. You were mine too, I said. Until you weren't. It's been 6 months now. Sometimes I still catch myself reaching for the phone, about to text her when something reminds me of us. But then I remember the silence after I asked that one question, the look in her eyes that said everything words couldn't. I learned something in all this. Betrayal isn't just about the act. It's about the quiet moments that come after. The way love fades not with shouting but with silence. The truth is, I still miss her. Not who she became, but who she was before all this. But sometimes love means letting go. Not because you stop caring, but because you finally learn to care for yourself. And as for Jordan, I never met him. Never wanted to. Because he wasn't really the problem. The real betrayal started the moment she chose to lie. And ended the night I stopped believing her.